I'm Richard Goodall. I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana. I've been a janitor for 23 years. The kids call me Mr. Richard.
Minutes ago on America's Got Talent, Richard Goodall shared his soul through song. But his life story is shrouded in deep, dark shadows. Born in Terre Haute, Indiana, Richard's early days were fraught with challenges that seemed insurmountable, with only music as his escape. Each note he sings is heavy with the weight of a past filled with pain and loss. His voice captivates, but it also cries out from the depths of a troubled life. What profound sorrows drive the haunting melodies that touch the hearts of millions? Tune in as we dive deep into the tragic, hidden life of Richard Goodall from AGT. The unexpected rise of a singing sensation. Richard Goodall, an older but still up-and-coming singer,
Took the midnight train going anywhere.
recently touched the hearts of many with his emotional performances.
Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you?
His voice has won over fans from all over the world who are deeply moved by the feelings in his music. But what people don't always see is the story behind his songs, a story filled with struggle and heartache. As you listen to him,
I go and Ange go. This is the first time our life has been unscripted.
it's hard not to be swept away by the emotions he carries in every note. Just as Richard's career seemed poised for a meteoric rise, a mysterious letter arrived, hinting at secrets from his past that threatened to shatter everything he had worked so hard to build. His life shows just how powerful dreams can be and how amazing things can happen from the simplest of beginnings. Richard was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, where he grew up in a small town with a typical family life. From a young age, music captured his heart. He would spend hours in his room with a Radio Shack stereo by his side, singing along to his favorite songs and dreaming of performing on a big stage one day.
Through the night, under the mid-street light.
But as Richard got older, reality began to set in, and his dreams of music had to take a back seat to the responsibilities of adulthood. After finishing high school, college wasn't an option for him, so he needed to find work right away. He took a job as a janitor at Shoney Rose Middle School, a steady job that helped him stay close to home. It wasn't what he had dreamed of, but it gave him the stability he needed. For over 20 years, Richard took pride in his work, keeping the school clean and safe for everyone. Even though the job was far from glamorous, Richard's love for music never went away. He would often sing while he worked, his voice filling the empty hallways and classrooms, turning the quiet school into his personal stage. His singing didn't go unnoticed. Students and staff alike would stop to listen, amazed by the janitor's incredible voice, often giving him applause right there in the hallways.
Raise my hand, and then some. Bow my head.
Over time, Richard earned the nickname, the Singing Janitor. This name captured who he was, a hard-working custodian with the heart of a performer. His performances during the school's Veterans Day events, especially when he sang God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood, became moments everyone looked forward to. His voice not only entertained, but also brought the school community closer together, creating a special bond with everyone who heard him. The students called him Mr. Richard, a name that showed the respect and affection they had for him. Then, in 2022, during one of the school events, something amazing happened. The teachers, who had always loved Richard's singing, encouraged him to take his talent further. They saw the potential in his voice and pushed him to share his gift with the world beyond the school's walls. Standing there, surrounded by cheers and support, Richard realized that maybe, just maybe, his dream of becoming a singer wasn't out of reach after all. Richard decided to sing a song that would show off how good he can sing, and he picked Don't Stop Believing by Journey. A teaching assistant recorded his performance and put it on TikTok. Richard's singing was full of feeling and power. By the next morning, the video had over 100,000 views, And by the end of the weekend, it hit over 1 million. Fans and even Steve Perry from Journey left comments. But this wasn't the end of the surprises. The video got so popular that the producers of America's Got Talent, AGT, noticed it. They invited Richard to audition for the show. Overwhelmed with happiness and a bit shocked, Richard said yes to the chance. The guy who used to be a janitor was now going to perform on one of the biggest stages in the world. 2 years after his TikTok video blew up, on May 27, Richard stood in front of AGT's famous judges, Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel. He was nervous but ready. He took a deep breath and began singing "Don't Stop Believing." His performance was so amazing, it got a standing ovation from everyone. After one setback, Richard finds a new chance to shine. A tale of hope and harmonies.
Richard, you knocked me off my feet.
Heidi Klum was so moved by his song and his incredible story
This is what I'm gonna do for you.
that she hit the golden buzzer. This meant Richard skipped straight to the live shows. As gold confetti fell around him, Richard was shocked and so thankful, realizing he was actually living his dream. But this wasn't the peak of Richard's journey. As the show went on, he kept winning the hearts of the audience with his powerful voice and humble nature. His story of hope and not giving up inspired millions. He showed everyone that even a simple janitor could turn into a star if they just keep going and believe in themselves. Throughout the contest, Richard stayed true to who he was.
I've been a janitor for 23 years.
His music team, which joined him in July, helped him pick songs that showed off his wide range and deep emotional connection to the music. The staff at America's Got Talent, AGT, made sure he had everything he needed, from navigating social media to emotional support during the intense competition. As the live shows got closer, the excitement in Terre Haute grew. Everyone in the community rallied behind Richard, setting up watch parties and organizing voting efforts to support their local hero. On August 13th, the night of the live show, families and friends gathered around their TVs, eager to see Richard take the stage once again. No matter the outcome of the contest, Richard's future looked bright. His sudden rise to fame brought opportunities he had only dreamed about. Offers to record music, perform at events, and collaborate with well-known artists started coming in. But Richard remained grounded, still the humble janitor who used to sing in the hallways of Choney Rose Middle School. Looking ahead, Richard envisioned a future where he could balance his love for music with his commitment to his community. He hoped to use his newfound influence to inspire others, especially the students who had always supported him. He wanted to continue working at the school, not just as a janitor, but as proof that following your dreams really matters and giving up isn't an option. In interviews, Richard often shared a message of hope. He encouraged people to spend less time on their phones, connect more with their loved ones, and pursue their dreams no matter how far away they seem. His story showed that incredible things can happen to anyone, at any time. But this wasn't the end of Richard's journey. His transformation from a singing janitor to a national star was more than just unexpected fame. It was a tale of determination, the power of community, and the magic of music. Standing on the AGT stage under the bright lights and loud applause, Richard knew this was only the beginning. The future held even more exciting possibilities, and with a voice that could truly touch hearts, Richard Goodall was ready to leave a lasting impact. Richard had always been told he had a gift for singing. With that encouragement, he started thinking about entering a singing competition. Whenever he shared his singing videos online, people cheered him on, which made him feel even more confident. Believing it was time to take things to the next level, Richard decided to aim for The Voice, a popular singing show. He picked a special song, "Don't Stop Believing," and after practicing hard, he sent in his audition video, hoping for a big break. But the news he got wasn't what he had hoped for. He received an email from The Voice saying he didn't make it to the next round. This rejection hit him hard. Richard had really believed in his singing and thought the judges would see his talent. It wasn't just a minor disappointment for him, it cut deep. Despite all the support he'd always gotten from others, this made him feel like he wasn't good enough. With new support, Richard gets ready for his next big test. Richard's path on America's Got Talent. Yet Richard wasn't the type to give up easily. Instead of letting the rejection bring him down, he used it to push himself harder. He shared his feelings on Instagram, telling his followers about his determination. He even hinted at giving America's Got Talent, AGT, a try next. Even though The Voice had turned him down, he wasn't ready to let go of his dream. Richard set his sights on AGT. Though he was still hurt from The Voice, he was determined to keep going. With both the pain of rejection and hope for a second chance driving him, he prepared for his next challenge. But the worst part wasn't just the rejection, it was the self-doubt that crept in. Still, Richard pushed forward, knowing that every setback could be a stepping stone. His resilience shined when he finally appeared on America's Got Talent. He opened up about his life with his fiancée, Angie, and even touched on his past, a 30-year marriage filled with love and loss. His story showed that his life had seen both heartache and happiness, but it was those experiences that gave him strength. Now, with all that behind him and his future in front of him, Richard was ready to prove his worth to the world. He knew his talent was unique and couldn't wait to show everyone that sometimes setbacks lead to even better opportunities. Every year on December 25th and February 14th, Richard and his wife celebrated with true happiness. The photos from those days showed just how much they loved each other. Their smiles and the way they looked at one another said more than words ever could. But life can sometimes bring hard challenges. In 2021, Richard's world changed when his wife was diagnosed with cancer. It was a difficult battle that neither of them expected. Richard gave everything he had to help her, staying by her side through all the ups and downs. Sadly, cancer proved to be too strong. On June 19th of that year, Richard lost his wife, and the grief that followed was almost unbearable. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Richard shared his deep sadness. He wrote, "I'm so sorry I did my best, but my best wasn't good enough." His words showed just how heavy the loss was, like a wound that wouldn't heal. It was clear that he wished he could have done more to protect her. They had spent 30 years together, sharing life's joys and challenges. Now the photos from their happiest times were bittersweet reminders of a love that ended far too soon. Life kept moving, even though Richard was still hurting deeply. Slowly, he started to heal. By August 25th, he felt ready to share some good news. He posted a picture on Instagram with Angie, his new partner, showing that despite the pain, there was happiness again. The caption, "Fun night with my lane at Taco Tequila's," revealed that while he had found new joy, getting there hadn't been easy. His journey was filled with love, loss, and recovery, showing that even after the darkest times, there is always a chance for a new beginning. Still, the emotional scars remained, reminding him of the past. Looking at Richard's story, we see a man who has gone through incredible loss, but has also found a way to keep moving forward. He carries the memory of his late wife in his heart as he starts a new chapter in life. His story shows the strength of the human spirit, the ability to find light after darkness while dealing with the complicated emotions of love and loss. After a touching performance, Richard's life takes a new turn. Richard's viral journey. Richard was knocked to the ground, then told to get back up and try again. This was not just a moment of physical struggle, but a reflection of the hardships he had faced throughout his life. For 30 years, Richard had been in a loving relationship with his wife. Their bond was special, filled with affection and memories they shared together. Every Christmas and Valentine's Day, they celebrated side by side, marking these holidays with the warmth of their connection. The photographs they took during these times captured the depth of their relationship, showing moments of pure joy and togetherness. It seemed like they would be inseparable forever. But life took an unexpected turn after Richard's wife passed away. The grief weighed heavily on him, but not long after, something unexpected happened. Richard found love again. On August 25th, he posted a photo on Instagram with his new partner, Angie, marking a new chapter in his life. The caption, though simple, spoke volumes. "Fun night with my love at Taco Tequila's." Richard had found happiness once more, but this joy was not without its fair share of struggles. Despite his outward smile, Richard's journey to this point had been filled with sorrow and loneliness. After losing his wife, he often found himself alone in his room, singing along to the radio and missing the days when he used to be part of a band. But there was more to the story than just these solitary moments. In truth, Richard Goodall was a member of a local band in Terre Haute, Indiana, called Manipur. His musical talents had not faded, and in time they would gain new recognition. Everything changed for Richard and his band when a video of him performing a Journey song at a local middle school went viral on TikTok. The video spread like wildfire, bringing Richard unexpected attention. Soon after, Manipur started receiving invites to perform at local venues. They took every opportunity, and by July, they were booked every weekend. It was a sudden change for the band, but one that came as a result of years of practice and passion. The success was something Richard hadn't imagined, but he embraced it, grateful for the chance to share his music with a wider audience. But this wasn't the end of Richard's surprising rise to fame. As the buzz around him grew, there were rumors that he might even join the band on stage during the finals of America's Got Talent. The possibility seemed like a dream come true, but it wasn't far-fetched. Richard had always been talented, especially when it came to singing the songs of Journey, a band whose music had a special place in his heart. Richard's journey had taken him from quiet moments in his room, where he used to sing alone, dreaming of performing with a band, to viral fame and new opportunities he never expected. His dream was no longer just a distant hope, it was becoming a reality. And with Manipur by his side, Richard's rise to internet stardom wasn't just a lucky break. It was the result of years of perseverance, hard work, and dedication to his music. But that wasn't the most remarkable part. Along with the unexpected fame came challenges. Richard worked as a janitor, and his modest income meant that traveling for performances, especially in expensive places like California, was not an easy task. He struggled to afford the plane tickets and accommodation needed to participate in shows like America's Got Talent. However, the show's organizers stepped in, offering to cover all of Richard's expenses for his participation. It was a huge relief for him and a testament to how far he had come. From performing in a small town to gaining national recognition, Richard's life had taken a turn he never could have anticipated. But despite the hardships and obstacles, he had found both love and success once again. The road to this point had not been easy, but Richard was finally able to embrace the happiness he deserved. As cheers linger, Richard faces fresh challenges and chances. Richard's leap to fame. This story of Richard's unexpected rise to fame and newfound joy shows that life can take surprising turns. And even in moments of loss and sadness, there is always a chance for renewal. The story takes a heartwarming turn as Chris Bond from Terre Haute, Indiana, steps up. He started a crowdfunding campaign and managed to raise $15,000. His mission was simple: to support Terry H., a local star from Indiana, who wowed everyone on America's Got Talent by helping him get the golden buzzer. Richard Goodall, the performer, had flown out alone for his first performance in August. This time, he's going back for a 10-day competition, hoping to go even further. The money raised will cover his travel and stay, taking the financial pressure off him, though it won't cover expenses for his family or other extra costs. The goal is to make sure his family can be with him and all his additional needs are covered. The fundraising began on May 30th, 2024, and quickly hit the goal by June 9th, with 382 people pitching in to help. This huge show of support from the community has been incredible. It means Richard can focus fully on his upcoming competition, knowing his hometown is cheering him on. In August 2022, Richard got a chance to sing in front of a big crowd, performing Don't Stop Believing alongside Rudy Cardenas from American Idol. That night, Richard looked like a pro on stage, his powerful voice a perfect fit for the iconic song. After seeing a video of Richard singing Don't Stop Believing, Rudy, a Venezuelan singer who was once on American Idol, was so moved that he invited Richard to perform with him. Rudy introduced Richard to the crowd, calling him the singing janitor who had gone viral. He praised Richard's genuine talent, and the audience agreed, greeting him with loud applause. It was a magical night when dreams seemed within reach, marking a huge milestone in Richard's journey. Together, Richard and Rudy gave an unforgettable performance, showing how far Richard had come, from working as a janitor to sharing a stage with a famous singer. It was proof that hard work and persistence can make dreams come true. After this incredible experience, Richard expressed his gratitude on Instagram, thanking everyone who had helped, including the Drake family for organizing things, his friends Jeff Gindard and Chelsea for their support, and the band and audience from Terre Haute. He ended his message full of hope for the future, celebrating the moment with his wife Angie and looking forward to whatever comes next. For many years, people had praised Richard Goodall's voice, encouraging him to audition for a singing competition. After hearing it so often, Richard finally decided to take a chance on The Voice. Confident after his social media success, he sent in a video of himself singing "Don't Stop Believing," hoping to impress the judges. The Voice sent him a polite rejection, saying he wouldn't move on to the next round. Richard felt crushed, unsure why he wasn't chosen. Still, this wasn't the hardest part. Rather than give up, Richard set his sights on America's Got Talent. He knew his journey wasn't over and was determined to prove his talent. His confidence grew when one of his TikTok videos went viral, catching the attention of some famous figures. Steve Perry, the renowned American singer, left a comment on Richard's video, expressing his admiration. This recognition was a huge boost for Richard. The support didn't stop there. The official Journey TikTok account shared his video, and even Howie Mandel, a judge on AGT, reacted to it. Despite this growing recognition, Richard knew that the road ahead was still full of challenges. With these small victories, Richard stayed focused on his dream. His story became one of resilience, where each step forward was a reminder that success requires patience and persistence. Do you think online platforms genuinely boost artists' careers? Comment your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe for more.